He's
Probably killed it. Not moving. It's still moving?
It's moving. Then put it inside again.
Yeah, it's still moving. Leave it there for it.
Today at 5, it's a program that's so innovative, it's unlike any other in the country and is right here in your own backyard.
Who plays with cockroaches as an experiment? And then the tools that we were using, it's something that we've never used in school, so it was also nice to like experiment with something else that we're not used to using. It was nice to like use something different and play with something that we could possibly use in the future.
This program is getting national attention, not just in the scientific world, but also from the U.S. Department of Education.
We do trainings all the time where we go and we do hands-on stuff and we learn new strategies. And we actually I took 8 students and we did an experiment together. We didn't talk about doing an experiment with kids. We didn't talk about how they were, what they should do or how they're going to react or how much they're going to love it. I got to see how much they loved getting in there and doing it. Backyard Brains gave us an opportunity to take the kids out of the classroom and into a real world situation. I think it opened their minds and it showed me the strategies that they're talking about that people come in and tell us about with letting kids be hands-on. It's true. It's absolutely true. They need to be hands-on. That's what excites them. They don't want to see a video of someone else doing it. They would rather do it. And the fact that Backyard Brains gave us the tools to do it in my classroom as well, they're getting to do it. They're doing it. They're having a blast doing it. So we really enjoy it. I enjoy it and they enjoy it.
Yeah. Usually you expect to get instructions from the teachers and then just follow them out. In this case, you actually got to work with the teacher and learn with the teacher instead of just being the student. You were both students in this case.
We're doing things even more progressive than the 2026 STEM projection that the U.S. Department of Education put out. So I think we're in the forefront. We're doing something very novel.
Taking kids off this campus, seeing the different ways to better understand science, better understand actually teamwork, having that understanding that we are going to move forward and taking kids off this campus, seeing what is outside of these 4 walls, learning from that, but then bringing it back onto this campus to enhance the learning environment a whole lot better. Really take the learning from the teacher being the sole carrier of the learning and to present that to the students and have them be more the facilitator and have the students really come up with the answers, the ideas, because it's amazing what they can come up with in things that we had never even thought of.
This is not something you normally see in school districts. So this is something that's going to be brand new, and I think it will be replicated. I suspect this will be published. People are going to find out about this and going to be replicating this around the country.
In Odessa, Julia Thatcher, CBS 7 News.
So the excitement that PIC Education is coming in, taking the time, bringing in the resources, bringing in the experts, bringing in world-renowned photographers to talk one-on-one with our kids is amazing. It's an opportunity that they're not going to have in other situations. So what I've seen in the kids that have gone on these field trips and had these experiences is they're coming back and they're making that connection between what's written in a book and what's told by a teacher to what they saw and they felt and they got to experience in real life.
These kids are getting access to something that's really at the vanguard of neuroscience. And because it's accessible digitally through web-based tools, they can engage right away. They're right there. They're not learning something. They're not looking at 100-year-old slides, which in their own right can be beautiful, but they're in the same data that we're mining to do current research. So that's one really cool thing. The other really cool thing is that many neurobiologists don't know what the brain looks like at the EM level. They historically have thought of it as maybe these isolated glowing neurons that they patch and record and fill, but the reality is that our brains are completely loaded with 100 nanometer diameter processes that are all densely intertwined. It's just generally a useful thing as part of a general education for kids to realize and think about. And then of course the third thing is that this lets kids engage with real science, do real biology, and that opens doors for that subset of kids that feel excited and motivated by the science that they're encountering. And it lets connections get made between some excited or talented kid and maybe a host lab for a summer internship, or they go to college, they follow it up, and now they're interning and they know who to get in touch with. It gets them oriented and gets them a feel for what they're excited about as they enter the rest of their education. And I also know that when I was in high school, I had to go to the library and look at pictures, and I just personally would have loved something like this. I think I would have dived right in.
Because of the program, I feel like I could do neuroscience in high school, and it makes a great impact on you, because if you said something like that, most people would be like, oh please, you're just dreaming, he's a little kid with big dreams. But it's actually true, because they put me in a real neuroscientist position. Like, this is a software real neuroscientists use. So like, it really gives you that feeling that yes, I can do this, and brings all your dreams to reality. It really makes me feel like happy, like I'm almost special. Like it's really fun, because not many people get to do stuff like this.
PIC education is a wonderful experience where students can experience science firsthand. They get to see and touch the material. They get to hear from scientists directly what's happening. What are the scientists doing in the field? They're showing it to the children and letting them experience it, to be part of it. But probably the most important thing from my perspective is that it dispels the notion of a scientist looking like Einstein. They're not all these white males with crazy hair locked up in a solitary place doing their science secretively and only talking with big words that no one can understand. Scientists are everyday people like you and I, and we have a story to tell, and we want to share that with the children. We want to share our passion and our excitement and to show the variety of scientists that are out there. They're not all lab bench workers. There's all kinds of scientists out there. And PIC education is one of the ways that children can really experience the diversity in science.
Another really important aspect to PIC education, to me personally, is this idea of growth in your learning. And this is really astounding to me that we often lose track of that as administrators. We often lose track that we're in the field of education, but we stop wanting to learn. And this whole initiative, and I think initiative is much too small of a word, but this whole program that we're embarking on in PIC education makes you change the way you think. And isn't that a beautiful model for what you're doing and what you're trying to get the kids to do? We have to change the way we think.
Our students pick education. They pick staying in school. They pick learning in a different way. They pick innovation. And they pick education.
I pick education. I pick education.
And I pick education.